Hi, I'm Maleyah. Maybe you'd like to know more about me. You wouldn't want to step in my shoes, so just don't put up with what I go through. It's not the best life, but it's pretty darn good because I got a roof over my head and I got clothes and I got fed well, so I'm fine. Perfectly fine. Everything's alright. And also, one last thing. I love listening to music. Um, and that's basically it. I'm actually pretty boring most of the time. My friends call me boring, but we're like buddies. We're like, oh well. I hate huge prep groups. I hate preps totally. No offense to you guys, but we're preps, but I do not like preps that much. I like staying in small groups in a corner, basically, ish. And I'm not really huge and big and popular. You call them people popular. I'm just basically in small groups. And that's basically it. So, I hope you guys are, having a great day. Bye!
Lilly and Jack Sullivan are siblings who vanished from Nova Scotia on May the 2nd, 2025. Now, if you're following this case on my channel, you know we've been doing a deep dive into their case. Just to provide you with a little background, Lilly and Jack Sullivan were reported missing around 10 a.m. on May the 2nd, 2025 by their mother, Maleyah. Now, it's reported that Lilly and Jack Sullivan wandered off from their home on May the 2nd, 2025, and there has been no public breakthrough in the case. Now, many experts and others have spoken out to say it's unprecedented that two siblings would vanish without a trace. Because of this, RCMP has offered a $150,000 reward leading to information that would lead them to Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Now, RCMP has remained very tight-lipped about the investigation, but what they have told us is that Lilly and Jack Sullivan were observed in public on May the 1st, 2025, which would have been one day prior to the date that they were reported missing on May the 2nd. In the last update, if you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out on my channel. The news reporter posed a question to RCMP: if Lilly and Jack Sullivan were observed in public, what was the manner? Now, the sergeant of the communications unit from RCMP would not provide further details. So now, as we know, is that Lilly and Jack Sullivan are still missing. There has been no public updates, but the family is now speaking out. Now, Daniel Martell, who has categorized himself as the stepfather, has previously been speaking out on various social media platforms. Now, Maleyah's half sister recently spoke out on TikTok, and we're going to get to that as well. And excuse me, he is the captain of RCMP Communications Unit, and he's the same person that previously spoken out and stated that RCMP did not issue the Amber Alert because Lilly and Jack Sullivan's case did not meet the criteria. So that is the captain and not the sergeant. Now, moving on, Daniel Martell, the man who categorized himself as Lilly and Jack Sullivan's stepfather, as you know, if you're following the case, him and Maleyah have been together, according to him, for 3 years. Now, currently, they're not together because during a press conference, Maleyah allegedly, according to Daniel, got upset. She was talking to her mother, and everything was just fine. Something transpired, according to Daniel, and Maleyah just got up and left. But now we're going to hear from Maleyah's side of the family to know, according to them, what happened. But before we get into that, Daniel Martell posted in a public group that's dedicated to Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and he stated the mother did not hide them. The proposed theory is that the mother escorted them quietly to a vehicle, then the vehicle drove them to an unknown location where they remained in hiding. Investigators are still hard at work determining the exact unknown location. Now, this is from Daniel Martell, and it is his confirmed Facebook account. If you go to the profile, you click on it, it goes directly to Daniel Martell's account. So Daniel Martell has previously spoken out on other platforms, and he's been speaking out more. Now, if you're following this case on my channel, you know that there is a guy who's alleged to be Maleyah's cousin. I'll have his picture right here. If you haven't checked out the previous video, I will link it in the description. Now, this alleged cousin of Maleyah's, he says that he's been in communication with Daniel Martell's mother, who he identifies as Janie. What he says is that Janie is ready to come out and to tell her side of the story. Now, as you know, Janie, who is Daniel Martell's mother, she was living in a camper on the property where Lilly and Jack Sullivan vanished from. She has not publicly did any interviews, and she's been very quiet other than updating her Facebook post, the cover page of her Facebook. Other than that, Janie has not publicly spoken out. That is until now. Now, Janie, who again is Daniel Martell's alleged mother, and go to my previous videos, you'll see comments and other things that she left under Daniel Martell's photos, and I've covered that, so I'm not going to cover that here. But in this post, she again spoke out in a public group, and what she said is, all I want is to find Jack and Lilly. I told the RCMP everything I know, and Daniel did too. It's up to the other side to start talking. Now, then someone posed a question to Janie about a timeline. If you listen to Maleyah's alleged relative, the previous video that I uploaded, there's been a lot of questions that have been surrounding the timeline. Even the paternal grandmother has had some questions about that before. Now, what Daniel's mother, Janie, stated was the timeline is, I talked to my brother, and I believe she meant to say at 8:48, and we talked for 2 minutes, 59 seconds, and the kids after that, as up since 6 that morning. So this is what Janie, who is Daniel Martell's mother, stated in a public Facebook group. Again, if you click on the name, it takes you back to Janie's profile that is the same profile that would leave comments under Daniel Martell's photos. Okay, so moving forward from here, Maleyah's half sister, she recently went on a TikTok live panel. Now, I previously have reached out to Maleyah's half sister because I was doing another video and I kept seeing her name pop up and I wasn't sure of the connection. So I reached out to her and I posed a question. Hello, how are you related to Lilly and Jack Sullivan? Now, she did not reply, but as you can see, because she read the message, it said you can now message and call each other and see info like active status and when you have read messages. So yesterday, when I became aware that there was this TikTok video that was circulating of Maleyah's alleged half sister, I reached out to her again and I said, you went on the TikTok live panel, you're Maleyah's half sister. Was it you on the TikTok? Yes or no? She thumbs up the question indicating that yes, it was her on the TikTok.
Here she comes. Good. It's much better if somebody who was there actually. Welcome, Haley.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket. I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own, right? Lilly and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day one. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out, and this one just ended up on a tree, I guess, but yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Maleyah for identification?
Yes, Hayden and I did, yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And So you called the police, who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah, no, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one right down there right away. So I was there from the get-go of when everything started. But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail right by the main Lansdowne Station Road, the dirt road. But yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that, but that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like, how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage and half of it get into a tree, right?
And I mean, quite a ways down the road, like down the paved road from where they lived, up a dirt road, a good at least mile or two. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a head scratcher for anybody, right?
Yeah.
Kat is asking, how are you and how is Maleyah doing?
Things are, well, you know, everything's touch and go. The subject is very touchy for family. Maleyah's trying to live somewhat of a normal life. She shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable. She can have a life too, right? We don't know what happened. I only know from what I was told. I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right?
Yep.
So yeah. I'm not sticking up for anybody in the situation. I know as much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would figure out or could figure out what happened, and, you know, Lilly and Jack could be found, it would give people a sense of, at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long as family. Like, we're hurting over this. Like, it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around that's very much misinformation. Like, people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Yeah, like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, you know, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But, you know, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything. But it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Maleyah's mother, my partner. And we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, Dan, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needed to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
and-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl,
Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing. But Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years or so. And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about, and they all kind of said, you know what, we already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like, why aren't you protecting the kids that way? Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the big piece that Logan and whoever else, this Darren guy that is related to Maleyah's side, I mean, he's just spewing a bunch of stuff that's not 100%.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
none of his stuff can be verified. So just remind me, when did this altercation break out? That was on the Saturday, right?
Yeah, that was just as Maleyah was going down to the press conference. Yeah. So Maleyah broke at the end of the driveway. She was crying, and I was like, like, what's going on? And she wouldn't talk. And I looked at her and I said, now's the time to talk. Like, get fucking talking. Like, what's going on? And she broke down, and that's what it came about, that he was doing that. So
okay,
that fueled the family fight that there was. And I mean, yes, Janie or whatever her name was did go at Cheryl. Logan was trying to fight everybody in the driveway. They kicked us off the property because we found out something that nobody was supposed to find out, right?
Okay. So this was on the Saturday evening.
Yeah, just before Maleyah had left. Maleyah planned to, the baby was going to go with Logan. There was a lot of give me the baby, I'm taking the baby, and then, oh, you can come too. And it was kind of like, Maleyah, like, I spoke to her and I was like, why don't you go with your mom? She wasn't made to go with her mom. As her sister, I could see what was right and what was wrong in that moment. And they were trying to persuade her to stay with the baby. And I told her that she really needs to sit and think what's best for her and the baby at this time. And she ended up going with her mom, and that was willingly. It was nobody talking her in to go. I'm just like, you have a home, you'll be treated right, there'll be food, there'll be love, like, you know what I mean?
So
I do gotta jump off. I have some things to do, but I'll catch you later if that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Haley.
No problem.
Anyway.
Okay, so you just heard from Maleyah's alleged half-sister about the pink blanket. Now, if you have not checked out the dispatch audio related to the discovery of the pink blanket when the search team was out there searching, please go back. I uploaded the dispatch audio on my page with that so you can hear that. I will also link it in the description of this video. Now, moving forward, when you heard from Maleyah's half-sister, now she made some interesting points, and what she stated was that the pink blanket was used for a window or a door, and that it ended up in a tree because it could have got away. They wasn't sure how it ended up there, but someone took a photo, which was Hayden, Maleyah's alleged brother, and Haley, which is her alleged half sister, they took a photo, took it back to Maleyah. Now go back and listen to the dispatch audio because Maleyah identifies the pink blanket as being Lilly's. Okay. Then there are various news articles that have been publicized and published, excuse me, where Daniel Martell said that it was not Lilly. So there's been this back and forth online fuel about this pink blanket. Now, RCMP has not confirmed if it is Lilly's, if it is not, if they tested it, if they took it, if they consider it to be evidence. Of course, RCMP has remained tight-lipped. You also heard Maleyah's half-sister make accusations against Daniel Martell. Now, yesterday, while Sunny was playing the TikTok video, Daniel Martell was aware of it. He stopped by the chat, and what he stated in the chat was that I have random tests. And you'll see the message here from the chat that he left. Now, Sunny was trying to convince Daniel to come up to tell his side. Daniel Martell, he didn't oblige to the request. He did not go up. In addition to Daniel Martell being in the chat, Belinda, who is the paternal grandmother, she was also in the chat. And what she stated was, I think Haley is the half sister to Maleyah's half brother, Hayden. I think I spelled his name wrong. Now, in addition, Dorwood, who's Maleyah's cousin, was also in the chat, and he said, keep talking, Haley, I dare you. And that was his message there posted. Now, you also heard her make some accusations towards Daniel. And previously, Daniel Martell, when he went on another channel, what he stated was no drugs, dogs went through the house and property. RCMP said drug test not a concern. I posed that question to them. This is what Daniel Martell previously stated about the accusations of him using drugs. So what are your thoughts about this? Drop your comments below. Keep in mind, RCMP has not yet confirmed this. Now, moving forward, there was also Maleyah's friend. If you recall, I uploaded a video where this friend, her name was Cheryl, she now has went on a TikTok panel. It's the same panel that Maleyah's half-sister went on. They became aware that, this panel was going on, and they went on this panel. Not only was it Maleyah's half-sister that went on there, it was Maleyah's friend, and it was also Logan. Logan is Daniel Martell's cousin, okay? They're first cousins. Their parents are siblings. Now, Cheryl, which is Maleyah's friend, she uploaded a photo of her and Maleyah, and they were on a beach together. That photo started circulating social media. And if you heard from Maleyah's half-sister, she said Maleyah can live her life. She has to at some point, she has to be able to move on, is what her sister was saying. And Cheryl, who uploaded the photo, she said, we got her out for the day. She needed a day out. She definitely doesn't know, but I can't really say much more till the investigation is over, but I will fill you in on it. She is still human. She still needs to live. Being depressed at home all day crying isn't going to change anything. Why screenshot it? Of course, this is related to the photo that was posted of Maleyah at the beach. Now, this same friend, Cheryl, is going to go on the TikTok panel, and you will hear from her. Now, the significance here is many people are thinking that as opposed to Maleyah speaking out publicly, that she may have her friends or her half-sister speaking out to tell her truths. It's really up to you because that has not been confirmed as far as if that is Maleyah's intention. Now, you can see here, I did go out to Cheryl's social media account. This is an older photo with her and Maleyah. So it seems that they do have a connection dating back to a few years ago. You also see the photo with Maleyah and Cheryl there, and it's at the beach. So listen to this and drop your comments below. Please, as always, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
On Friday, and which Friday, and where are you from?
It was May 2nd. I live in Cheryl. I'm good friends with Maleyah. I just wanted to kind of touch on a few things that you said. So we were the ones that actually found the blanket, and as far as I knew, the blanket was on the railing, not in the garbage. And Maleyah didn't leave Saturday morning. It was Saturday evening because an altercation had broken out, and Daniel's mother actually tried to attack me. So it was well after supper Saturday when she actually left the premises.
Okay. Is that, sorry, is that,
I didn't know if I muted myself or not. I don't know how these things work. Yeah, so I just wanted to.
Okay, so hold on a minute. Hold on.
Yep.
Logan McKenzie is here.
Yep.
Logan, would you mind coming up in the chat?
I can drop down for her, Susan.
No, I have lots of room. Okay, I'm going to have Logan come up because I do know Logan very well. Well, not very well personally, but she's been on the live. I absolutely know her. And I mean, absolutely zero offense to you, Cheryl, but I don't know you. But I do know Logan.
I met Logan that over that weekend. I think I met her Saturday, maybe. I can't quite remember exactly who she is, but I do remember meeting her.
Okay, so Logan is going. There we go. Thank you, Logan, for coming up. And let me just say this. I need to warn people of this. We have 142 people in the room. Be aware that we are on the internet. We've got 143 people in the room. There will be twice that watching who are not in the channel. Anybody can be screen recording this and what you say. And it can go on the internet anywhere. So I just want to put it out there and just give a warning before you say stuff. Just make sure that what you say is, Hey, Logan, how are you?
Not too bad.
And Logan knows this firsthand, don't you, Logan?
Yes. My name is dragged all over the internet now.
Yeah. Logan was on my live weeks ago and for quite a while. And it was very, very unfortunate. Somebody screen recorded the entire thing and then splice and dice the entire thing, taking out pieces, not putting in pieces correctly, because Logan actually gave an enormous amount of support to Maleyah. And of course that was all removed. So I just want people to be aware that this can happen. So thanks for joining us. So anyway, carry on. Cheryl, what were you saying?
That was just it. That we left Saturday evening, not
after the
Saturday
briefing.
morning.
After the briefing on Lansing.
No, it was after the altercation.
You left, but Maleyah didn't.
We all left. Maleyah went with her mother. I left. My sister left. My sister-in-law left. We all left at the same time.
Yes, but the altercation was before the briefing, honey.
And then there was one after because your mother was involved in that one.
Yes, and that's when we were saying about the car. And then I don't know who came back looking for the cell phone, and we were trying to get Maleyah's grandmother to leave the house. Yes.
Yes.
But Maleyah left right after the briefing. You guys did it. Maleyah left right from the briefing.
5 minutes before us, yeah.
Yeah, right after the briefing, up at the briefing. She never came back to the house.
No.
You guys
it wasn't Saturday morning that she had.
No, it was Saturday afternoon after the briefing.
It was Saturday evening. I think around supper time-ish.
Yeah, after the briefing at 4:00.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And the blanket was in the garbage. The cops even went and found the other half in there.
Yeah, as far as I knew, the blanket was on the railing.
Yeah, no, the cops came and collected the other piece. After the other piece was grabbed from the trees.
Yes, where we found it.
I'm still trying to place who you are, but
That's okay. There's so many people.
So no, go ahead, Cheryl. Just identify. Like, how do you know? You said you were good friends with Malaya.
Yeah, I don't really want to touch on that kind of stuff. Kind of just respecting her privacy right now, but I just kind of picked up on a couple of things that you had said, and I wanted to clarify that she most certainly didn't leave Saturday morning. It was Saturday into the evening after the briefing.
Yeah, Susan probably misspoke because I said that in our
No,
first
that's okay. That's okay.
where we said where she left because I put the baby in the car for her and her mother drove off. But you guys were supposed to come back for Maleyah's car and you guys didn't. Nobody took Maleyah's car and it got repoed by the what is it? The search and rescue guy got it towed back to wherever Maleyah was. So you guys, I thought her stepsister or whatever was supposed to take the car. That was after the whole altercation because they were trying to get
I don't
Maleyah's
know.
grandmother out of the house because she didn't want to leave.
I don't know. That's not really relevant to anything I was talking with Susan about. I'm not touching on the vehicle.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that Maleyah did not come back to the house. She left right from the briefing. You left.
Yes, absolutely. I was with her.
I just want to say, Cheryl, it really seems that you're sharing conflicting information between Logan and you. Like, it sounds like, I don't want to sound rude, but like you're saying false things a little bit. And
like what?
well, you said about you were like coming in here to correct people about the blanket.
Yes.
And
because it was on the railing. That's what I was told.
But if you were
Whether
there,
it was on the railing or in the garbage, it doesn't really
hold
matter.
hold on. We need people to just speak one at a time so that everybody in the chat can hear.
Sorry, Susan.
No, that's okay. It's just, it gets really confusing for people that are trying to listen to what's going on. So, DJ's making the point, Cheryl, that, and I don't want anybody accusing anyone on the panel of,
I'm not.
Yeah. No, I know you aren't, but I'm just going to.
It's something that I noticed. Sorry to interrupt, but.
So, yeah. So she's just simply saying that you had come up on the panel to clarify some things that had been said.
Yes.
And one of those things was that I had said that the blanket had been put in the garbage by Daniel, and that I had gotten that from Logan and Mackenzie. Logan is here. She verifies that.
Mm-hmm.
You had said no, the blanket was on the railing. Now you're saying you thought it was on the railing. Is that correct?
No, I was told it was on the railing.
Okay. So are we okay in agreeing that the blanket was put in the garbage?
I really don't know. I don't think it matters. All I know is the blanket was found in the trees up on the road.
Half of the blanket was, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
it does matter.
I wouldn't even call it half. Just a piece of it.
Okay. So it does matter where the blanket was. Actually, it is a significant piece to the story.
The investigation.
Yeah, the mom too says it all matters. So just Cheryl, I appreciate you being here. I really do. I just want to make certain that, and it's not just to Cheryl, but if you if you think something, like you just said, well, I was told it was on, that's absolutely fine, and that's valid to say. Just make sure that you don't put across something as fact that you don't know as fact, but somebody told you, or something that you think. Just make sure you make that clarification so that everybody understands.
Right, yeah. Did I see it on the railing? No. Did I see it in the tree? Yes. Did I see it in the garbage? No.
No, but we, the cop's note was in the garbage.
Yeah,
There's
no,
a whole video
I
about it.
haven't
But-
asked about
yeah,
it.
exactly.
But yeah, no.
I seen it in the tree
get it.
too. That's why I knew.
You what?
I said I was there when you found it in the tree. Like I was there 2 seconds after you guys found it.
Yes, yeah.
Logan, can I
okay.
ask you a question? Was the whole garbage bag taken with the half of the blanket in the garbage bag that was torn open?
No, see when Daniel found out about the blanket in the tree, because he was in the woods before knowing about it, and he found out after Maleyah left about it. He went out to the garbage because we all mentioned the blanket. So he went out. He goes, "I put that blanket in the garbage. I'm going to say about a week ago because it was ripped." So him and I forget who else. I think it was his brother. Went out, videoed it all, opening up the garbage and like checking around, and you could see it. So like we called the cops right after that. Like the RCMPs came right out after that. But yeah, it was in the garbage. The RCMPs came out and collected it and all. The bag was still in the garbage bin, and the garbage bin was closed.
Okay. Just a clarification for somebody in chat. Logan Ann McKenzie is Daniel's first cousin, is very close to the family and lives, relatively close by. She has been on our chat previously. Cheryl, Christina, it's the first time she's been on my chat, and I welcome her. And she was, from what she says, she was there at the time of the search, and she is affiliated in some way or a friend or something to Maleyah. Is that correct, Cheryl?
Yes.
Okay.
I've watched your lives a few times. I just haven't said anything.
Okay, Cheryl. Somebody in chat was just asking, they said, who are these people? Can you please clarify for us? Now, Logan, I did have a question for you.
Sure, honey.
Did you watch Daniel's interview on CBC?
The new one?
Yeah.
Just parts of it. I watched the full part of the grandmothers. I didn't watch fully Daniel's yet.
Okay.
I was speaking with Daniel yesterday, though.
You what?
I was speaking with Daniel yesterday. He was at my house, and he was telling me that he did that interview.
Why won't he come on my live, Logan?
Because he wants to stick with factual, the way he said it was.
And
Local news is, and he wants to stick with the more factual. I don't know. That's what he tried to tell me anyway.
The mainstream.
I asked him if he wanted to come on because, and he was lining up this interview here, so I'm not sure what's going on now.
Okay.
I could ask again.
Okay, I would like that. And let him know that I do now have, and it's all actually because of the situation that happened with your live, I do have a private, dedicated live room for subscribers only.
I love that.
Yeah, which gives a much greater control to the environment. No one outside can watch. It has to be paid subscribers only.
That's what he said about my interview too. He said mine got so spliced and diced.
Yeah. And if he would like to do that, I will send him a gift subscription. He doesn't have to pay for one, and I will give you one. And if you would both like to come in, I would love to have you both.
Awesome. I will get a hold of him.
Okay.
And see what he says. I am going to go get my children here soon, so
Okay.
we'll have to leave this live.
Okay, one question, Logan.
Sure, honey.
You, so I'm sure you'll watch his CBC interview.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it here when I get home from picking up the children.
You had mentioned in my live about his mother's dog in the RV barking just shortly after 9 on Friday the 2nd. And when we were talking about the dog, you had made stated that the dog is really triggered
When Lily does that screaming?
Yeah, mainly by Lilly screaming and is triggered by the kids.
Yes, because what animal isn't triggered by animals to run when they run around screaming and yelling?
Triggered by kids, yeah. And I had asked you the specific. I had said to you, well, wouldn't the dog have barked if somebody had walked on the property?
I'm not 100% sure because
precisely that's exactly what I was getting at. I couldn't remember precisely your words, but you had said, I don't know, but you said I do know that the dog is triggered by the sound of the children.
Yeah.
Okay, and the only reason I raised this is that Daniel said in the CBC interview that he just recently did that. Or the CBC had stated that the dog barks at everything.
I can never hear the dog when I get there. The dog's always my grandmother. My aunt always has the dog in her RV. So if I'm not paying attention for the dog, I ain't listening for the dog. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to sort of clarify that because to me, it sort of presents two different things. One, a dog.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I had one of those dogs that literally, seriously, if a leaf moved outside, this thing would explode, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
But the whole time that I knew the dog, I'd never really paid attention to the dog because I'm not really of a dog person. So
okay.
I would say hi to it, but like I'm not personally going there listening to see if the dog's barking at me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I get it.
If I'm not listening for it, and I'm not an animal person myself. So
yeah. She misspoke. So please don't make any kind of nonsense crap about that. You had said
my grandmother.
No, you had said animals are triggered by animals, and somebody in chat said, "Is she calling Lily an animal?"
Oh my God!
No,
I misspoke. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that will be my new meme.
Yeah, it'll be all over the internet, Logan.
Can't be any worse than what everybody else is saying. It's fine. I offered to spit in a cup the other day.
Oh no!
They asked
why? What happened?
Oh, because there's a group on Facebook with my Facebook profile saying, oh, do we even know if they're really related to Daniel and this, that, and the other thing?
Oh.
And all this stuff. And I said, would you like me to spit in a cup and send it to you?
Right.
I said, do you want my birth certificate? Do you what would you like? Because this ain't something to lie about.
Yeah. I mean, it took me about 2.5 weeks ago. And I mean, 2.5 weeks to verify who you were. And it is something that's really important to me to verify people because but I will say, for what it's worth, for me, I don't even go on the Facebook groups because they are so toxic. It's unbelievable.
The only reason why I went on the Facebook group was because somebody shared that my profile was shared all over it.
Right. Well, you can ask Greensleeves, you can ask Cheryl whatever you like. So Greensleeves is asking you, Cheryl, how Maleyah is coping.
Like I said, I'm not really gonna touch on that stuff right now. I just want to respect her privacy. But I do want to touch on the dog situation. When we had got there around 1:30, 1:15, the dog was in the RV and it most certainly barked. It was right up in the window by the steering wheel. You could hear the dog loud as day.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention to no dog, so it's fine.
Okay.
Cheryl, will you please let Maleyah know I am thinking about her though? Because I have tried to message her.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I will. I'll let her know.
I'm not trying to be anything.
I will also say, Cheryl, that regardless of what you see online and spliced and diced, when Logan was here in the live, she gave Maleyah an enormous amount of support.
I watched live.
Spoke very highly of her.
Yes. Yeah, I watched it.
So I just want that. I'm gonna go get my children, but have a good night. Have a good afternoon, guys.
Hey,
and you too, Logan. Thank you so much for coming up.
Take care, Logan.
So, Andy, the blanket, as I understand it, Andy's asking if the blanket was special to Lily. The blanket had actually been ripped and had been used to cover a window. Prior to it being put in the garbage.
I also do have to run, Susan, but I want to thank you for letting me join and clearing a couple things up, although I'm not really able to say a whole lot right now, just given, the circumstances and the situation. And let's be honest, nobody really knows what happened. So I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to say something that's not true. I don't want to say something that may jeopardize anything. But I did want to touch on things that I knew or, heard.
And that's I appreciate you coming up. Absolutely. And I do extend the same offer to Maleyah. I mean, I'm not sort of jumping on it because I highly doubt Maleyah will speak to me. She hasn't spoken to anybody. But I extend the same thing to Maleyah and yourself. If you and her would like to come onto a sub-only private live, I will present, I will cover the subscription cost for you.
Thank you.
And it is a much controlled setting. It is subscription access only. So nobody from outside can be sitting there watching. And so you could, because I can guarantee you there is some little weasel screen recording all of this, and they will splice and dice it and throw it out all over the internet within probably a half an hour. And
Absolutely.
and where it actually first originally was seen was posted under anonymous on that Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I will have nothing to do with the Facebook groups.
Right.
You post anything anonymous, it just speaks volumes about, who you are and what you are. But anyway, I really appreciate you coming up. And I thank you for your time. And like I said, you can extend the same invitation to Maleyah. I'm more than happy to have her.
Yes. Our main concern right now is just finding Lily and Jack.
Absolutely. Yeah. Personally, my personal opinion, and it's just a personal opinion based on all of the interviews, the police, the RCMP reports, their news releases, I don't see this as going into a cold case. I think that they pretty well got it wrapped up, but the thing about it is that they are going to, and we do know that it has become a criminal investigation. I think they have to solidify everything and make sure that if there are charges laid, that this is not going to slip through the cracks somehow. So Cheryl is affiliated in some way with Maleyah, in that she's a friend, but she was on the property as well the day that the children went missing. What were you, Cheryl, helping with the search? Is that why you were there?
Yes.
Okay. So she knows Maleyah, and she was on the property. And I don't know Cheryl. This is the first time she's been on my live. I do know Logan and Mackenzie, and Logan was actually just here. She left, and Logan basically verified that Cheryl was in fact at that property the same day. And that, honestly, I will let you know, that's why I brought Logan up, and I'm so glad she came in, because for me, she verified that you are who you say you are, and you don't actually live in Kansas and,
Absolutely. Florida.
claiming craziness, right?
Yeah. There's so much of that going on.
Exactly. So I'm glad that Logan obviously saw you there, and you are who you say you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Cheryl,
Yes.
it's Karen. I'm on the panel as well.
Hi, Karen.
Please let Malehya know that there are a lot of people thinking about her, and we want, to make sure, or as soon as possible, that they find those children.
We have stayed quiet for so long now that I just felt like it was time that I had said something. And I've known Maleyah for years and years, and she was always a good mother to Lily and Jack. They were clean kids, they were polite, they were well looked after. She never yelled at them, never punished them in, any way. They were good kids, and she was good to them.
Yeah, you know who speaks very highly and expresses that is
Cody's mom.
yeah, that is an amazing interview to watch.
Yes, it is.
It made
girls on hold for a second.
You can put go ahead.
Okay, just because the comments are going too fast.
Okay. But what she just spoke so eloquently about Maleyah and all the great things she said about her, and the part about how kind. I loved how she talked about how Maleyah talks to the children. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That was so sweet. It really
was. He was always so soft spoken with them and to them and towards them.
You could tell in her actual interview that she, the one interview she gave, you could tell she wasn't comfortable speaking, that she was more soft spoken and that sort of thing. So, but it was very, very interesting to watch that interview with the grandmother of the children.
Yeah, and it was so nice to see somebody finally stepping up and saying what Maleyah is really like, because that's all I've ever known her to be is, kind and would do anything for anybody.
Yeah, a lot of people are making assumptions and saying things, and the reason, because we haven't heard, I'm not saying we should, but because we haven't heard any interviews or anything like that, or seen Maleyah, people are making a lot of assumptions about her. But her the grandmother of the grandkids has said it amazingly well, and really, honestly, she didn't have to, right? Mm-hmm. So what she said was stunning, and it brought a tear to my eye. So it was nice.
Maleyah's concern is not blasting herself all over social media and the news. Her main concern right now is finding Lily and Jack.
Yes, I agree. But it was so nice for her, the grandmother to say those, and those were from the heart. You could tell.
Absolutely, yes. And we, couldn't thank her enough.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, in the chat is going so fast, okay?
Okay.
So I'm not talking to you, Karen or Cheryl, because they're saying that this is a waste of time. Nobody's answering the chat.
Okay.
Okay. So,
okay. Well, I apologize. I was away for a second.
That's okay.
Let me just see this here. I'm just gonna pause the panel for a second. Let's just go through the chat and see what's going on here. Let me just hold on. I can do it. Hang on a minute. Okay. Does Maleyah plan on speaking to the public or a reporter, is what Jeremy was asking. Do you know, Cheryl?
Again, I said, I don't really want to touch on anything to do with Maleyah and what her future plans are.
Okay. Prince Cupid was asking, do you know Daniel as well?
No, I don't.
Okay. Logan is talking about two separate pieces. Okay. Yeah, there were two separate pieces of blanket, one in the garbage and one that was found on the Lansdowne Road. Okay, I think I got pretty much all the questions. I just want to make, personally, I'm going to make an observation here, and this is just for the benefit of both families, okay? When, at a certain point, when you and Cheryl, I'm talking to you specifically, when you and Logan were both up, there was a lot of, I'm going to say almost animosity is what was felt. You were kind of talking over each other. You both wanted to sort of make a point. And I want to just put it out there. There is obviously, this goes without saying, there is so much pain. There's so much hurt among the family members. And both sides of this, the Daniel side of the family and the Maleyah side of the family, as we saw with the biological grandmother of Lilly and Jack, she is hurting so enormously. And personally, the whole sole question here that all of you have in common, that you share, is where are the children? That's what you guys share. And it would be lovely to see the extended family working together and supporting one another in that goal. As it would just, and it would be so much more beneficial to all members of the extended family, and like yourself, Cheryl, friends, if you simply supported one another in that common goal, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Because that's where you're at. It's not a matter of blaming each other, because personally, I don't think any of the extended family or personal friends have anything to do with this. All that they care about is where are the children, and that is your common goal, and that's what all of you share. Hey, yes. Jeremy, how are you?
Hi, Susan. Sorry, I was just looking up a couple things here. Cheryl, first and foremost, I want to emphasize my deepest condolences for the situation that Maleyah is going through right now. I can't even imagine as a father what she's feeling and what she's going through.
Thank you.
I don't want to ask the wrong question here, just given the sensitive matter of it.
Mm-hmm.
How did and you don't have to, you can just say, no, I'm not going to answer that, and that's totally fine. What ensued with the whole, and this is why I wish I had came back on when Logan was here. What started the whole argument between the family members?
That I'm definitely not going to touch on.
That's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I think that when Logan was here in the previous chat, Jeremy, Logan had said, and she clarified that because there was a lot of rumor around that the big, huge fight that broke out was between Daniel and Maleyah. And Logan said it absolutely was not. It was between family members.
Okay. And once again, you can say I'm not going to answer that question. But Daniel said that he did take the polygraph test. Did Maleyah end up taking a polygraph?
I'm still not going to comment on that.
Okay.
So
is there anything that Maleyah needs right now?
I think she's okay. We're trying our best just to hold everything together for her and be there for her, given all the animosity and all the public speculation. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, I guess. But yeah, she sees what people write, and of course it's going to affect her, but she most certainly would not hurt her kids in any way, shape, or form.
Sick right now, so don't mind my voice. Anyways, I'm gonna start doing videos about, like, sometimes videos like kind of a vlog-ish, and then others like just like randomness, like outside stuff, and like maybe how to make stuff. But because I'm really like creative, I like making things, like creative stuff. Yeah. Maybe you'd like to know more about me before you start, like, you know, subscribing and stuff. Well, I'm part native, not Indian, but kind of ish. Native is like Mi'kmaq, and that explains the darkness of skin. And my hair is like, ugh, no. Other things, I don't use straighteners, surprisingly. I just use showers and dryers. Like, my hair is just like naturally straight. Also, I love like videoing and stuff like this, so I decided to start. I also love music. I am so big with music. Music's like my thing. Music is in me. I love to sing. Singing is like, when I sing, it's just like amazing. I just love it so much. I guess, like, you could call it scene, but I don't really like call myself it totally, because I just don't really name myself like that. I'm just like me. I'm me, just me, and it's just like really cool. I guess being me is okay. You wouldn't want to step in my shoes, so just don't put up with what I like go through. It's not the best life, but you know, it's pretty darn good because I got a roof over my head, and I got clothes, and I got fed well, so I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. Everything's alright. Also, what I love to do is like makeup and stuff. It's actually pretty fun. I also love doing my hair. It's really fun, I find. I love to decorate. Like, I have this lamp right here, you can't really see it, and there's no way I can turn my computer and show you. But yeah, I have a very pretty lamp, and I kind of decorated it. It's just like, oh, I so badly want to show you, but I like can't right now. Other things, my eyes are gray. Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? Gray eyes. Woot. Also, I love like rings and stuff, like mostly necklaces and earrings, because I find them really cute. I want to get snake bites, but I don't want to. I love taking photography. Like, I love photos, like, of scenes and stuff. It's like really cool. And also, one last thing, I love listening to music. And that's basically it. I'm actually pretty boring most of the time. My friends call me boring, but you know, we're like buddies. We're like, oh well. I hate huge prep groups. I hate preps totally. No offense to you guys, but we're preps, but I do not like preps that much. I like staying in small groups, like small groups in a corner, basically, ish. And I'm not really huge and big and popular. Like, you know, you call them people popular. I'm just basically in small groups. And that's basically it. So, I hope you guys are, like, having a great day. Bye!